I'm going to tell you about Madiabs, the best girlfriend I've ever had, especially after that, the relationship I just got over. Madiabs means booty, some kind of booty thing, in some kind of Kenyan language, Swahili or whatever. And what a perfect one. But I used to call her Lilo because her eyes used to remind me of Lilo from Lilo and Stitch. Just beautiful Asian looking eyes and that innocent look. So back then I wouldn't stay single for too long. And my fosters would have a party at their house. It was murder mystery theme party, and I would dress up and play Louisa de Montfort, and Lilo would help me dress up and all that. So, and she had a sense of humor, the curves, everything was just like in the right. And me being codependent, I already got into a relationship as soon as possible, which was that night. I think we both got drunk, and then whatever happened. After that, and it was funny because even she thought I had this rep as a player, and I'm like, no, that's not my style. Like if I'm with you, I'm with you. I don't just jump around that way. Now things would go well, everything was nice, and man, lips. I think the softest lips I've ever like felt. She's just so soft, so nice, so just everything. Things go on. We had a bit of drama. So the first bit of drama was I love taking pictures. So that time I used to have disposable cameras. So I think we were changing, or we were wearing like I was wearing red, she was wearing red pants, I was wearing red top, and inverted brown. So I was going to take a picture of that. She just lost it because my reputation again. I had done something very bad. I think I talk about it in the Snow White one, but all these things, word spread around. I'm a player. I did this photo stuff. Not only did she get involved, Foster's got involved. Foster's started telling me you have to apologize. This, that. I'm like, I didn't. This is the part of the program I didn't want to get into. People are getting involved. Her best friend would get involved. I forgot her name, Pooja Poonam or something. I used to call her SpongeBob because she reminded me of the teeth and the big eyes and stuff. So let's talk about the bestie. Get that out of the way. Her bestie turned out to be such a big disappointment because I looked up to her for so long. She would tell me all these things. I traveled here, I traveled there. I was like, tell me more. What else? What else? Her brother was growing long hair, so I got inspired. I'm like, yeah, now that I'm in UK, I can do all this. So I grew my hair. She would tell me about all these travels. I traveled here, I trekked here. I think she also got into some travel business with another travel friend of mine. But one day, that that bucket of crab side came out, and it was such a disappointment. I think we were in Harvesters, we were all having dinner. Suddenly, she just exploded out of nowhere. You are 22 years old. I think I was 24. Suddenly, she just blasted me. Like, I think I was 25. She's like, 25-year-old, you're still wearing earrings, this, that. And I was like, what a disappointment. You know, I've had friends who do the same. They go to uni. Oh, I have gay best friends. I have this best friend, this. They come back to Kenya. Oh, look at that guy. He's gay. This one's this, that. And I was like, you've been exposed to so much out there and you've gone back to that bucket of crabs. And this was in a public situation. And my girl was happy that she did that. She's like, I'm so glad someone spoke up. And I was like, okay. So certain things were starting to misalign over there. And that would be the start of the bit of unraveling. Yeah, so after that, I would kind of stay away. Like I would just date her for dating her instead of her being with the program because I think she had a party at her house, which was much more better because all the buckets, all the crabs had joined. And luckily, a lot of those crabs were not in that mode of pulling each other in the bucket. I would stay out at her house and take the 3:40 bus to work with her. Some of my favorite times with her. She had this trick she used to do in public transport when she was alone. And breakfast with her was the best. I used to stay with her. She had a housemate called Nikita, just similar to Nikita. So that was already a reminder of the ex. And then one of the days, this song would be a hit at that time. Nelly and McGraw, all in my head. I didn't even think about anything until she put it in my head. She's like, does this song make you think of her? And I was like, man, why did you have to open this? Why did you have to poke this can of worms? So again, another thing added. But then there were other songs. There's Gem, Stay Now. That whole album just reminded me of her. Katie Melua. But SpongeBob would always ask me to download lots of music for her, and I was happy to do this for everyone. They wanted adult content, I'd get them adult content. They wanted music, I got them music. SpongeBob would tell me to get Rooster. There's one song, Angels Calling, and that would be the song I would use to break up with people. It's such a beautiful song. We thought we'd stay forever, but they say all the good things come to an end. My friend. Rooster, Hoobastank had some nice songs. That time, that was the exact kind of music I needed. And then the Bucket of Crabs judging me kind of songs. There was one. How can I act like I'm not here, or they act like I'm invisible or something. I'll put it here somewhere. All that was that. One day she told me that the pattern is whenever she introduces the parents to the partner, the breakup is bound to happen. But there were other things, so let me just have a look. But before we get to that, I think I bought 2 hyacinths, or you get 2 for 1 hyacinths from Tesco somewhere. So I gave her one, I got one. Hers bloomed and blossomed so nice. Mine just died. We would play a lot of games, and I think the Fosters would give us a board game or adult kind of card game and stuff. And then there was one day, by now I was so happy that at least I could fully move on in every way I could. Even though every now and then the calling was to the past and comparison and all that, I would end up showing some side of me which I don't know. Like maybe it was my, that victim mentality saying, "Oh, that look she gave me is not a good look." Maybe it was a good look and I turned it into a bad look. But there was another thing which was like, okay, this is not going to happen. And then after meeting the parents, I was just like, look, she comes from such a nice family, and she wasn't exposed to the things I was exposed to. Her normal wasn't my normal. She would try and understand things and stuff, but it was very hard. And I always liked that she still supported me with my art of living, because I would do the DSN course and she would join me for the last day where it's like everyone come have a chat with Sukiji, and he would read part of Ashtavakra Gita, explain that these stories are the intellect and the subconscious talking to each other. They're not real characters, not real people, blah blah blah. It's like this book is very deep. You have to read, just open any page and start reading there. But I'm very sequential, so I read A to Z and it took me years. I just finished it recently. But she got me that book. So I always appreciate those kind of things. And that's why she was such a part of me, always had it in my mind that once I fix myself, get myself together, I'll go back to her. But by then, she would already be married, or I think she had already moved back to Kenya. We would love playing Articulate with the Fosters because it's a couples game. Like you need at least 4 people in teams. And then one day at her house, the shower bust. And that's where I was like, I would start getting inklings of, you know what, I need to get better at being DIY. Middle of the night, we had to call this guy. I think she must have paid $300 to $700 pounds, and I think it was a washer that needed changing, or I can't remember, man. That was a crazy one night. So yeah, all these things added up until one day I just told her, look, we need to meet. I'm like, look, this is not working. You're just too good for me. And she was too good for me. But when I say that, I also meant I was too bad for her. I was still building those out of living foundations and all these other pillars to set up my life. And I could see myself. I had just so much work I wanted to do and had to do because I still had to catch up with everyone else. I was still mentally, I was like, I'm still behind all these people. I've kind of overtaken the crib guys, because uni life and drinking life, that's every day. Anyone can do anytime. Hiking and mountain climbing, all that I've done. So check. There's so many other things people were telling me that they've done. Ajay uncle from Art of Living had accomplished all these things, and I was just on a mission to check off all these things. Even though I used to tell her I loved her, I did love her, but I wasn't in love, and I would not be in love for at least 6 years after that. But yeah, I forgot about this, but one big reason where I thought Madiabs was just like too good for me and stuff like that was after I used to go pee, I didn't wash my hands. And she used to insist, can you please just at least just run your hands under the water for a second if you don't want to wash your hands. And yeah, so back then I was a bit uncouth. What a long way we've come since then, man. Especially since the pandemic, now we know how to wash our hands in like for 2 minutes or 20 seconds and 20 different ways and all that. Just those too many wrongs and things from the past that I didn't want to go back into those patterns. And anyway, look, all I can say is somehow, somewhere, I'm married to pretty much the same person. Anyway, just end it there.